I want to do something with this recap that's a little different than the other recaps I've done this year. I'm going to open this one up candidly. There aren't any theatrics. I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not going to do a skit. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm totally serious. I'm looking right at all of you. Can you see me? Can you guys fucking see me? I'm looking right at all of you, and I want to speak very candidly about two subjects on this recap. First thing I want to talk about is the matchup that I had with Ed this week, and of course, as you all know, I defeated Ed by a final score of 124 to 94. But what I want to say is this. Earlier in the year, I believe it was the very first recap when I told you guys that this shit is chess, it's not checkers. I don't say things like that because I want to posture or sort of just, just make myself seem like I am superior to you guys. It's that it's a fact. Fantasy is half luck and half strategy. The basis of what makes fantasy strategy are the facts that we can all point at that we see on the football field played between the people who are actually playing the game. You guys like that, right? That was a little Herm Edwards. The facts are set and are grounded on the things that we all know as football fans because we've been watching football since forever. If you are watching a football game between a team that is offensively superior than the other team, as was the situation with the Kansas City Chiefs against the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're watching Andy Dalton being the quarterback of the opposition. Now, around the time when Kareem Hunt had scored his second touchdown, I remember in the chat, I had told Ed something to the effect of, Ed, it's over. It's over. It's done. And Ed said, still plenty of time left. And then I responded to Ed by saying, time has nothing to do with it. Eventually, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill won't be getting the ball, and neither will Joe Mixon. Of course, AJ Green will be getting the ball because they'll be behind. Now, we all know these. You guys already know what I'm getting to. You already know that a team that is behind will run less, as the Bengals did, and they threw more. AJ Green ended up with 11 points. Tyreek Hill ended up with 12 points. He got that short touchdown. He didn't get that long bomb. He just fucking dropped it, and that was great for me. But the reason why I say that this is chess and it's strategic is that when I tell you that in the fucking chat, are you listening to me, Ed? When I tell you that in the chat, it's because the game is over. You were already losing by 30 plus points, right? We were moving towards the half. And I knew by the ball control that the Kansas City Chiefs were able to have that you don't have, there's not going to be much possessions left. There's not much left that you can do. And because you were so moronic to play Joe Mixon, because also you remember the comment that I made to you in the last recap when I said you're going to need the perfect storm. Now, of course, you're going to play AJ Green. Of course, you're going to play Tyreek Hill. But you didn't have to play Joe Mixon. You could have put out two running backs up against me. You could have easily played Jarvis Landry, who scored 10 points more. You still would have lost, 104 to 124. But my point is that you need a perfect storm because obviously Tyreek Hill having a dominant performance would probably mean that Joe Mixon isn't going to have a dominant performance. So why the fuck would you play Joe Mixon when you're not going to get the maximum potential? You don't want to get the maximum potential out of him. It's not going to be a fucking shootout with the Bengals. Joe Mixon wasn't going to have 24 points and Tyreek Hill has 24. It just wasn't going to happen. Now, if you are in a game where, you have players from the New Orleans Saints going up against Kansas City, then you throw everyone out there because Drew Brees up against Patrick Mahomes is a different story. But you needed a perfect storm and you weren't going to get it. But that's besides the point. My original point was when I say that it's chess and it's not checkers, It's when I tell you that I beat you, it's not me saying, hey, I beat you. I'm talking shit. This is, this is what I do. This is, I talk a lot of shit to you guys and, whatever. I brag. And that's not what it is. I'm literally telling you, walk away. It's over. I've seen enough games that I know that even if your player scored 15 points each, you would need such a ridiculous performance by Saquon Barkley, and you would need Julio Jones to get hurt and not do anything in my kicker. Ed, that's what I'm communicating to you. And if I ever tell any of you guys on the recap that, not on the recap, in the chat that you lost, it's because I really think that you lost. It's not me saying go fuck yourself. It's because these are facts that we all know of. We all know about ball possession. We all know about all these things. It's not just all luck. Maybe it is for you guys. Maybe we're playing a different game. Maybe we're looking at this from a completely different standpoint, and that's obviously the point. And I'm going to get to the other subject that I wanted to candidly speak about. But as always, you are listening to the recap, week 7 recap. And the second item that I wanted to get to is this. Now, as you guys all know, also, there was a trade made this week. It was done by me and Paul. Paul traded over David Johnson to me in exchange for Josh Gordon and Julio Jones. But that's not the story here, because Paul was in need and I was in need too. So we made a good deal and we figured it out. Josh Gordon was my 4th pick, right? Julio Jones was my 2nd. The reason why I picked Josh Gordon was the very same reason why at the beginning of this year, Ed had made a comment when he did a video and he said that I had made him some sort of offer for his draft pick. I was interested in getting, 2 players, 2 top 10 possible players. That's what I wanted out of the draft, but I wasn't able to get it because Ed doesn't have any balls and neither do the rest of you. So I pick up Josh Gordon in hopes of 2 things. I pick up Josh Gordon because I would have loved week 1, he gets 20 fucking points. Week 2, he gets 15. And I'm like, holy shit, this is Josh Gordon from 4 years ago. I've got a stud. Now, if that didn't happen, what I had hoped to have gotten out of Josh Gordon was exactly what I got. I have Josh Gordon now in a position where he has potential. He has upside potential. And what I did was I also sold high on Josh Gordon because he got 100 yards this past week, 10 points. It seems like the volume is going to go up with Tom Brady. Now, I had to get value out of him because I realistically was never going to play Josh Gordon for the rest of the season. I didn't really see it. I already have enough wide receivers. I have Brandon Cook. I have Emmanuel Sanders, Funchess if he has a good matchup, and also Deshaun Jackson, who can get a bomb here and there. So I wasn't realistically looking at him as an option to play him. But here's what I wanted to discuss, okay? What I wanted to discuss was the carries. As I said, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the volume of carries that David Johnson gets. Now, I'm about to read to you a list of the top carriers of the football in the National Football League so far this season. Now, 2 of these running backs had buys, but I'm going to read you off the list. We have Todd Gurley at number 1 with 144 carries. We have Ezekiel Elliott at number 2 with 132. Then we have Kareem Hunt at number 3 with 118. After him, we have David Johnson with 106 carries. At the number 5 slot, we have James Conner, who has 103. Now, James Conner is, of course, one of those players who was on a bye. After that, it's Saquon Barkley with 98. And after him in the 7th slot, it's Lamar Miller with 95. And to end up the top 8 is Melvin Gordon with 91. Melvin Gordon, of course, was hurt last week, and he went through his bye already. Did he? Let me just make sure. All right, just a second. No, he just got hurt and he's going through his bye week right now. The Chargers are on their bye. So my point, the reason why I pointed this out is because I found a lot of appeal in having in the top 10, to have three running backs who are the top carriers of the football in the top 10. I think that's very valuable. I think that's a good indication that your team will be in good hands at the end of the season or be the top point getters wherever you can position yourself at the end. But here's the final point. Here's where I really wanted to get at, and I'm sorry if this is very long-winded. But as you saw, David Johnson is the number 4 running back as far as carries with 106. Now, what I want to show you guys is this. You all obviously saw the offer that was made by Jay, and I'll read you off that offer. My phone is off right now, but I'm pretty sure this was the offer. The offer was Evan Ingram, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Aaron Jones in exchange for David Johnson. This was the back and forth that Paul and Jay were having. Now, I want to let you know something. David Johnson is much more valuable than we are aware of. Obviously, with 106 and the fact that he's not on a great offense, but he's still the number 11th ranked running back. Evan Ingram is the 31st ranked tight end. Juju Smith-Schuster is the 18th ranked wide receiver. Aaron Jones, who was hurt for a couple of weeks, is the 54th ranked running back. Evan Ingram isn't even the best tight end on Jay's team. I'll say that again. Evan Ingram isn't even the top tight end on Jay's team. Ironically, the running joke in the chat was that Paul dropped Evan Ingram twice, and Eric Ebram, he dropped him twice, and Eric Ebram is in fact the number 1 tight end on Jay's team at number 3. Okay? Juju Smith-Schuster is Jay's 4th option. Alshon Jeffrey, who missed the first 3 games of the season, has more touchdowns than Schuster at 4. Schuster has 2. Alshon Jeffrey also has 52 points, and Schuster has 68. That's just a difference of 16 points. That's all that separates them. Alshon Jeffrey missed the first 3 games of the season. So you put all these players together, and here's the sad part, okay? The sad part is that Jay probably thought that this was a good offer. But even the sadder part was that Paul said in the chat that it was a very intriguing offer. Now, the fact that Paul thought that that was a good offer says a lot about Paul, but what also says something about Paul is that he went forward with my offer, which was way better. I asked for less and gave more. Evan Ingram, Schuster, Aaron Jones. This is a part of the problem that we have, right? This is why we can't make deals. We can't make deals because we continue to make shitty offers like this. Now, I get it. I understand. We're talking shit to each other. It's just a fantasy league. Who cares? It's funny if I send you an offer about a kicker. But, I mean, look, how fucking funny is this? How fucking funny is this to throw a shitty offer? And I don't even think this was a shitty offer, you know, from Jay's perspective. Jay was trying to be funny when he sent me the offer for the Buffalo Bills for I forgot who it was. But if he thinks this is a good offer, this just shows you how greedy you guys can be. Jay has the 9th and 2nd ranked wide receiver in Odell Beckham Jr. at 9 and Adam Thielen at number 2, right? He also has James Conner, who's the number 6th ranked running back. This is how greedy you guys are. He wanted to give Paul the table scraps of Evan Ingram, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Aaron Jones. And he thought that, yeah, that means give me David Johnson. You see, another part of the problem is, and I know I'm all over the place, another part of the problem is that the only benefit that you guys ever see from a guy is the points that he scored. You look at David Johnson, and he's 11th, as I said. He scored 77 points. He's got 5 touchdowns this season. And I obviously I bought low because he scored 6 points. It was his second worst performance of the year. I bought low on him. And that's the way you guys look at it. Jay probably looks at it and says, well, Paul, I'm doing you a favor. He just scored 6 points. You know, I don't care. Here these 3 shitty players from from my bench. Why don't you accept the offer? You guys don't want to give something up, but you want everything. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why Jay's team is going to go south from this point on. What I am hoping, what I would just need to happen is I need Le'Veon Bell to come back to the Steelers. If he comes back to another team, then God bless you, Jay. But I need him to come back to the Steelers, and James Conner is rendered useless. And then Jay will see the need for a David Johnson and the benefit that he could have had from having David Johnson and James Conner. That's it. This is more of a rant than a recap. You guys are just like, this is just, from Ed and his fucking primitive fucking mind, like, there's still more than enough time left. No, there wasn't. You were done. I told you were done. You didn't listen to me. You didn't hear me. You were probably sitting by your fucking laptop Monday night thinking there was a fucking possibility of something. And then at the end of the game, you wanted to turn to fucking Chatterbox because finally it was confirmed in your mind. It was over before the day even started. When I fucking tell you you're done in the chat, you're done in the chat. Okay? Or the percentage of you being done is probably like 95%. Let me read off these fucking standings. At number 1 in the Thundercat division, we have Bundy at 4-3. We have I used to run this league at 3-4. Dad Bod at 3-4. We have Fuck You at 3-4. And Thanks Killing, as he's made a comfortable spot for himself. He's got a nice couch in the last slot of the Thundercat division. We have Paul. Over at the G.I. Joe division, we have Pineapple Jugglers with a record of 6-1. Jego Papa with 4-3. The Green Ranger, 4-3. Naida Kali at 3-4. And Ewok Rape at 3-4. Now, I told you guys to watch out for the trend of Joe beating Dro. I mean, and at this point, he's gone on another losing streak. This is 4 losses in a row for Dro when he had originally gotten out of the gate, 3-0, and now 4 straight losses. Let's look over those week 7 scores. Of course, we had Bundy defeating I Run This League at 124-94. We had Dad Bod defeating Fuck You 98-65. You could just tell the fucking frustration in my voice. I'm fucking heated at you fucking idiots. We have the Green Ranger losing to Jego Papa 66-97. Then we have Thanks Killing defeating Ewok Rape 87-61. Eric gets Tito Award. That is the only way that Paul could possibly get a victory in this league at this point. And then we have Naida Kali losing to Pineapple Jugglers 90-95. And I also want to say that I would expect Julio Jones to eat. I would expect Julio Jones to rack up. And that's why I give Julio Jones to Paul, because I literally pride myself on giving you a good deal. That's what it's about. I don't make trades because I want you to feel dirty. I want you to make trades with Team Bundy because we do good business. We do good business. So I want you to keep coming back. Now, afterwards I can shit on you and I can tell Paul that I comfortably will put Julio Jones on your team because, as I said, you're not even in the playoff picture anymore. We'll face each other next week, and then maybe Julio Jones can, pop up with 30 points. And if that happens, then that's what happens. But you're not going to be a factor moving forward in the season after that point. But I'll comfortably lay Julio Jones on your roster. There's a reason why I didn't offer Julio Jones to the stronger teams. I'm not stupid. Had I wanted, had I wanted other players from other teams that needed wide receivers, I probably wouldn't offered an Emmanuel Sanders or Brandon Cook. I certainly wouldn't have given them the upside of having Julio Jones, and then they fuck me up the ass later in the chip. So I want him to succeed. I want Julio Jones to do good, mainly because Paul's not going anywhere and because I make good deals happen, guys. I gave him my second pick. My second pick, Jay. Did you even draft Aaron Jones? I mean, if you did, he's like in the back end. Schuster, maybe that was like your top 7 or something. But still, it's not your... Josh Gordon was my 4th pick. 4. Jesus. Moving on to these Week 8 matchups, we have Team Bundy going up against Fuck You, and obviously Lamar Miller is about to get out there, and I'm hoping to get at least 20 points from him. That would be very sweet. A Matt Ryan-less Hensel who has decided to put in Mitch Trubisky. The fact that Hensel still hasn't even... I don't have an offer from Hensel. The fact that Hensel hasn't shipped around Le'Veon Bell is a fucking tragedy. The fact that Hensel hasn't even thought of making offers off the infinite upside of, hey, you can get Le'Veon Bell by playoff time, which adds 18 to 24 points to your total every week. Give me Patrick Mahomes, or the fact that hasn't happened is crazy to me, or at least he hasn't sent any offers this way. And, this is what I believe. You guys send, everybody else gets offers except for me. I have to be the aggressor. But yeah, Mitch Trubisky, Hensel, you don't have a good chance on this week, as I'm projected to get 100 points to your 95. We also have the Green Ranger going up against Dad Bod. I used to run this league against Thanksgiving, and this is the best part of it all. I mean, I honestly think that Paul's going to get fucked in the ass again, and Julio Jones also was on a bye. I give that to Paul as well, because not many of you would have made that trade knowing that Julio wasn't going to be ready, available right there. But obviously, I gave him Josh Gordon, and he could fill up that slot with Josh Gordon maybe getting more throws in the near future. We have Diego Papa going against Snyder Khalil, and Ewok Rape up against the number 1 team in the league, the Pineapple Jugglers. So, that was your Week 7 recap. Not much of a recap, not a lot of theatrics. We're not for the fucking jokes. I have to speak candidly to you guys. I have to let you guys know that when I say the shit's chess, it ain't checkers. This isn't me sitting back here and it's the fucking beautiful mind. It's nothing special. It's that there are facts that we all know of on that football field, and if you apply those facts to your fantasy team, it's an advantage that you already know you have, and it's like like you can't see it. As always, may your quarterbacks get hurt before they leave the locker room. May your running backs pull their hamstrings, and may your wide receivers actually be involved in some good fucking offers. How about that? Make a good offer. Go fuck yourselves.